You're listening to Podcast PXN,
a video game podcast
delivering player experience news.
Let's go!
May the Mushroom Kingdom be with you, and welcome to Podcast PXN episode 185. I am one of your hosts, the perennial dating app swiper from Portland, Oregon, Christian Macias, and I'm joined over Discord by Kentucky's number one Spartan, salute him, and PXN founder, Daniel Prindle.
Wahoo.
Well, that's something. And the president of the Tifa Lockhart fan club. Stand up, everybody. He's a Nintendo aficionado and artist extraordinaire at Roro.
Yeah.
That was a Keanu Reeves impression.
I like
that
it.
was Keanu?
I like it.
I did it way too deep. I ended up being Batman.
That was a Keanu.
Let me try again.
Yeah.
How's that?
That was better.
Yeah. And one half of the Meningage podcast, Battlefield's bad boy, the Tarkov Teletubby himself, my lover, Gagey Dempster.
I see you.
Jake Sully. Let's get it done then. Fuck, man.
That was a fucking great line, dude. Sam
right?
Worthington, man, that's what I'm saying. I'm happy for him. I'm happy for him.
Folks, if you haven't seen Avatar Way of the Water,
It's the way.
get on
man.
board. Let's get
This
a
is
little
the
wet.
way.
Let's watch Avatar Way of the Water. The Way of Water, I should say. Sorry. Anyway. Where am I, dude? I'm just all over the place. We're going to kick it today. This is going to be a chill, laid back 185 PXN. Everybody just put your feet up. Thank you to everyone watching us live and participating in the chat. Oh, it's because I don't have music in the background. Just as a reminder, we are live each and every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern on YouTube. Just search Podcast PXN. You can also find us at twitch.tv/podcastpxn. Housekeeping. I love you. The topic of the show this week is Star Wars Jedi, Survivor, preview impressions, plus gameplay details. But before we get into all of that, we're going to jump right into the quick bites, the PXN news of the week. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Our first item here, first quick bite, little appetizer. Here we go. PSVR 2 is apparently off to a slow start with sales estimates at around 270,000 units out of the presumably millions, maybe, that they've made, with one of the executives saying that a price cut is needed to avoid complete disaster. Listen, I'm not saying that we sort of predicted this. This is kind of what we talked about. It's going to live or die by its first-party support. And it seems like this thing got almost little to no marketing, came out, and we still haven't seen much of anything coming to it at all. And like how Gage said, PC support could have saved it. Too little, too late?
You want to talk about something that makes me angry? They could have priced this thing $100 more and made it not exclusive to PlayStation. It probably would have sold fine because people that would have been an excellent bargain for PC people. And then the people that want it on PlayStation 5 probably would have the enthusiasts probably would have spent that extra $100 anyways. And then people on PC, like I said, that would still be a steal. So Sony, this is what you get for being Sony.
Dude, you're kind of onto something. Let's think about the HTC Vive, which is comparable to the PSVR 2 in terms of like specs, not necessarily price. But that thing is way more expensive, and that is like tied to PC. But it's PC gaming. Like possibilities are endless there, right? And that thing sold pretty well.
What's the Vive in American? What, $999?
So, yeah, it's a bit over $1,000, right?
Bit over $1,000, yeah. And this is what, $5?
Around there.
Yeah, this is half the price.
$599? $499?
And you said comparable, but I think the specs in the PSVR, because it's newer, is actually better. Like with the with the refresh rate and the resolution. So yeah, you would have been 60% of the price for double the performance. That would have been. They would have cleaned house. They would have cleaned house.
Sony fumbling the bag.
This is Jim Ryan's Sony. This is what it looks like.
I'm going to predict that they're not going to make it like PC accessible. But would a price cut help you guys purchase it? Like, would you guys? No, still no, right? Yeah, I assume so.
It would have to be a killer app at this point. It would have to be like a Last of Us VR experience or something like that for me personally. Like, there's nothing.
Which I don't know if anybody's going to want to develop because of how bad the launch is. So it's,
Yep.
it kind of had a weird
That's the
stalemate here.
paradox, bro.
Yeah. Not good.
Cloverfield.
Paradox?
Yeah.
The third movie.
Remember
the one
how
that
bad
released
that
after the
movie
Super
is?
Bowl?
Remember how bad that movie was? Oh my lord.
Wasn't very good. It's no 10 Cloverfield Lane. I'll tell you that much.
Woo! Great movie.
Dan, thoughts on Cloverfield Paradox?
I've never seen Paradox, but 10
and or
Cloverfield.
PSVR 2?
Yeah, no, I've never seen Paradox, but 10 Cloverfield Lane is good. But yeah, PSVR 2. Ugh, what are you doing? What are you doing? I don't know.
What are you doing?
I don't have anything to add. You guys illustrated it perfectly.
PSVR 2, stinky headset. Moving on. We got some patches already released for the PC port of The Last of Us Part 1, which came out abysmally on PC. There were rumors that it actually wasn't even ported in-house, that they had support from outside. I don't know if that was substantiated anywhere. But however, we got some patches coming out. I think there's 2 of them that are live already, with more fixes incoming, and Naughty Dog pretty keen on getting some more updates out by the end of the week. Because people expected a quality product from Naughty Dog, and this was not it.
Yeah, I'm suspicious of the rumors that it was ported out because I don't think they've said definitively one way or the other. But before this came out, I could have sworn I heard a lot of rhetoric's the wrong word, but I heard a lot of things. It sounded like a Naughty Dog was saying like we're doing this ourselves to make sure it's right. Yes, right, Dan, you heard that too. And then now that the game's come out, now suddenly there's rumors that it wasn't them. And it's like, no. I'm pretty sure you guys said that you were taking this upon yourselves, and now you realize that, again, not their fault, the whole different ecosystem you're working in, but at the same time, I feel like you guys have to take the L on this. Like, you guys did not live up to the quality that you are known for. People are bringing up that this is now Naughty Dog's lowest scoring game, and it's like, okay, well, you guys have to own that and make sure it doesn't happen again. Decision was probably made way above their pay grade, but at the same time, if you're Naughty Dog, you almost have an obligation to put your foot down and be like, no, we're bringing this game to a platform where people have been waiting for it for over a decade. Another 6 months is not going to kill you. You can slow down, because this reeks of like upper management. Oh, we just finished the show. Let's get the game out on PC.
The rumor, if I'm not mistaken, the rumor was that Iron Galaxy was helping them with this, and you're right, Gage, they seemingly were saying, like, we're doing this in-house before the game came out. And then I'm pretty sure, I'm not 100% on this, but I'm pretty sure that they even made a statement after all the launch issues and said, we're working with our partners at Iron Galaxy to work on this. And it's like, all right, you just kind of threw them under the bus after you were saying for a long time that,
I got the same vibes. Yep. I'm right there with you, Dan.
Can you imagine being Iron Galaxy?
Yeah.
Just a worker. I mean, like, hey, what the hell, man?
It's that meme with like the dad kicking in the door with the belt, and it's like, uh-oh.
And even if it is like, even if they are like a major developer on it, like you can't blame them, because they may have been saying like, this game's not ready. There's a lot of issues with it, and Sony's like, no, it has to come out. So
right.
Thank you, Jim Ryan. Once again,
big moves happening over Jim Ryan's PlayStation.
Here's some good news here. Vampire Survivors wins Best Game at the 2023 BAFTA Game Awards, and I think God of War Ragnarok had the most wins with 6 awards that night. So congratulations to Vampire Survivors, indie game winning the Best Game at the BAFTAs. Awesome,
huge.
Great
and
game.
Deservingly so, because regardless of the content of the game, it's like that game took over, and it was an achievement, I think, for the time. And yeah, I think that's awesome. Super cool.
Are you paying attention, Jeff Keighley?
Do I have your attention, Jeff Keighley?
Jeff?
Moving on. Sega releases, this is just for Ro. Sega has released a surprise Sonic murder mystery game on Steam for free called The Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog. He's dead, y'all.
He's dead. I'm
Bro,
mourning our loss.
Yes,
it's been hard. Sonic gone far too soon at the very young age of 30. So yeah, it's been rough this past week. Yeah.
Some would say he was gone too fast. I don't know.
Too fast. So true. So true.
I just can't believe they...
Yeah?
No,
can't
go
believe
ahead.
they killed him.
I was gonna say the most ridiculous nonsense that would not have added to the conversation at all. Please go ahead.
No,
I
I need
was just
this.
going to say that it's been doing really well. One of the community managers for Sonic tweeted out today that over 1 million people have grabbed the game, downloaded it, and it's currently number 61 of the highest rated games on Steam of all time, which is insane.
What?
Sonic doesn't do that usually.
Wow.
So that's really cool. And it being a visual novel and having good writing and just being like a little passion project for not Sonic Team, but just like the people that work at Sega is really cool that it did so well.
This is what the people want, man. Unique experiences. You can just jump in, jump out. You know, we don't need like 30-hour escapades of nothingness. You know, I don't know. I'm just ranting.
Do you know what's
Oh,
crazy? Is you said 30-hour escapades, and to me that sounds short by today's standards. That's the real crazy part.
That's too much, dude. That's too much.
That's 30 hours of just getting the watchtowers in a Ubisoft open world.
I was
game.
gonna say that's immediately what I thought of. I was like, man, that's just exploring the map in Assassin's Creed, and then you gotta do stuff. That's too much.
Normalize less than 5-hour long video games. Let's do it. Moving on. A cheaper 1 terabyte Xbox Series expansion card is on the way. So we got some competition. I think this is coming from Western Digital. I think what was the first one? Was it Seagate?
Yeah.
Was it preferred? Okay, yeah. There you have it. Be excited if you haven't expanded your Xbox storage and are looking to do so soon because you've been downloading games and you want to have more storage. Maybe wait for the Western Digital.
Oh, yeah. I have, and my wallet hurts for it.
You bought the Seagate one?
Yeah. I actually
Was that like $200?
oh,
Something like that?
the 1 terabyte one, yeah, is like 189 or something. But the 2 terabyte one that I have, I don't want to
Jesus,
talk
Dan.
about that. That's like, I think that was like $400, and I'm like, yeah.
And you label me the rich guy. I don't get it. This is a cool one. Accessibility tags for the PlayStation Store. Game listings on PS5 have been rolling out globally. So now when you're looking at games on the PlayStation Store, you can click on the accessibility tag and see what options are available for video, audio, subtitle and caption, control, gameplay, and online communications. All those subcategories, you can see all in-depth accessibility options available to you for those games. Very neat.
Hell yeah. Make it easy for all gamers to play.
Mm-hmm. I agree. 2 bits of Nintendo news. Nintendo 64's Pokemon Stadium, coming to Nintendo Switch Online with online battles. What a nice little treat. What a nice little surprise. Pokemon Stadium, good game. Online battles, nice. I won't play.
Very cool. Me neither, probably, but very cool. I'm glad that they're adding more games, and it seems like at a quicker pace than they were before. So, very good, very good.
I hate
And
that
some
this.
more.
Sorry.
Huh?
I hate that this tweet's from the UK account because I read this as December 4th, and I was like, wait a minute, what? But it's April 12th. It's just backwards, you know. Us Americans gotta do stuff backwards.
April 12th, that's next Wednesday. You can be playing Pokemon Battle. Get ready. Final bit of Nintendo news here in the Quick Bites. Miyamoto says that the next Mario game will be revealed in a future Nintendo Direct, which is a big duh, but it is coming, lads. It is coming. Let's all vote right now whether we think it'll be 2D or 3D. I say 3D.
3D,
Ooh.
yeah.
I think it's going to be 3D too, actually. I'd love a 2D one though. Yeah. I think it's like an Odyssey like.
Mm-hmm.
Gage has no skin in the game.
Weird, dude.
Zero skin in the game.
I have all of my skin. God of War Ragnarok receives New Game Plus update with new equipment, new enchantments, and an increased level cap. So if you're fiending to playing God of War Ragnarok again, you can do so with all your stuff, minus 2 arrows that don't carry over. You got to get those again in game. Everything else, you got. All right. That is it for the Quick Bites. Here's where it gets interesting, folks. Let's dive in to some ran over street meat. This comes from Ton Warren. Thank you, Dan, for sharing this in the Twitter DMs today. Otherwise, I would have missed it. Sony is reportedly was it Dan or was it Gage?
Or
yes, me.
Who shared this?
Yeah,
All right.
it was me.
Yeah. Thank you, Gage. Sony is reportedly working on a PlayStation handheld codenamed Q-Lite. It will require constant internet connection as it's designed for remote play with a PS5. It will not run games locally. What are we even doing over there if this is real? Who needs this? Who needs another periphery? We can hardly get PSVR 2s at the door. You want to have another attachment that requires you to be right next to your PS5 locally on the same internet?
Right. All right, Christian, I need you to stop. All right. You know how long I've been waiting to buy a piece of hardware that allows me to play the game on a smaller screen with a less comfortable controller? Do you know how long I've been waiting for this? Jim Ryan speaks to me. I am the average consumer. I would love to spend $259.99 to be able to play something 6 feet away from my TV on a smaller screen.
Hey,
That sounds great.
Hey everyone, do you want to play your PS5 games in a worse way and and extremely inconvenient? Boy, do we have the product for you. Get out of town, dude. Get out of town.
It's like the Wii U, and that didn't do very well either. It's like
At all.
you can't walk around with it, right? It's like it has to be near. Well, you can, but can't go that far. It's not like a
The
swing.
Wii U
It's not
has
like
more functionality than this. That's a better way to put what you're saying.
Yeah, kind of sad actually when you put it that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't see can't you do this with like your phone or like
Yes.
your laptop
For free.
and
Yep.
stuff like that
For free right now. Yes.
for free? Yeah,
And it's the same thing.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what it looks like and if there is more to it that justifies that price, because what we're seeing here is like definitely doesn't. So yeah, it's I wonder if this could just stay in the patent vault and never happen.
They make like the attachment where you can get a controller with the little clip that you clip your phone to the controller. So it's like, yeah.
Right, yeah.
Oh.
Weird.
If they wanted to develop something like this, I think Emmett Watkins Jr. on Twitter had a pretty big brain idea about this. Is like develop a Steam Deck app for this. You know what I mean? Like this is like that's gonna be marginally like more impressive than playing a game on your cell phone. It'll run better. It'll be comparable to like a PS5 experience while still being handheld, right? I don't know if there's an actual market for something like this. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think most people don't even wouldn't want to do this anyways. Like I don't think the people that are playing on PS5s even use the remote play that is accessible right now, let alone having to spend $200 to do it in a worse way. So yeah, I don't think so.
Eric says in the chat, there's no way Sony will not allow to save games locally. Well, I don't see how they would or why they would, because if it's always online and it's basically just connecting to PS5, then I don't see why it would store a game save on there.
Yeah, you'd probably be running on cloud saves.
Right.
Is my guess, yeah. Yeah, but we're not running the games themselves locally. It's just a big why. Very questionable. Let's hope this is just like some R&D stuff that they're doing and not actually planning on releasing it. If they do release it, have it be something that's substantial. Like make me want to have this product. Otherwise, what's the point?
I long for the day PlayStation makes portable systems again, though. I would love that.
Yeah, but like for PSP and stuff, they were at least making experiences that were unique to that. They're not going to be doing that with this. It'll just be PS5 games.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's jump into the PXN news of the week. We have 2 items for you. The first is E3. We finally got confirmation late last week of its cancellation. We got some stuff here from the IGN report, Rebecca Valentine's report. So in an email, the 2023 version of E3 did not garner the sustained interest necessary to be executed in a way that would showcase the size, strength, and impact of our industry, they said. Basically, everybody was pulling out. We knew this. In that email, the ESA does not mention undertaking the show again in future years. However, following the IGN report, ESA and ReadPop had more to say. And, quote, "This was a difficult decision because of all the effort we and our partners put toward making this event happen. But we had to do what's right for the industry and what's right for E3. We appreciate and understand that interested companies wouldn't have playable demos ready, and that resourcing challenges made being at E3 this summer an obstacle they couldn't overcome. I'm going to stop here for a second and be like, maybe it was just cheaper for them to do this virtually with another partner, i.e. Jeff's Summer Game Fest. Further, for those who did not commit to E3 2023, we're sorry we can't put on the showcase you deserve and that you've come to expect from ReedPop's event experiences. Press release adds that ReedPop and the ESA will continue to work together on future E3 events. E3, not dead, still just a 4-year-long moratorium, supposedly.
Yeah, there's no way this comes back. Like, there's no way. Like, even in previous years, like last year and years prior that they didn't have an E3 event, they put a date on the next year's E3. So we had a date for E3 2023 this time last year. They didn't say anything about dates for next year. There's no way this is happening. Like, this is gone. Like, ugh.
You don't think E3 can come back like differently though? Like in a PAX sort of way, like do something completely different?
I guess that's true. Yeah, if they kind of morph it into something else, that's fair. But it's not.
That's the only way that I could see it coming back. It's not going to be E3 though,
Yes.
right? Like you're saying, it's if E3 comes back, it's not going to be E3, I guess.
Right.
So that's true.
And at that point, like, do you rebrand it as something else? Because like you're gonna have the expectation that it's gonna be like E3, all these crazy events and press conferences and reveals and everything, and then it's not gonna be that, and then people's expectations would be like, well, shoot, this was terrible. I don't know.
They're kind of in a precarious spot because they have to adapt, and you can't just do what everyone else is doing, because you're right, it does have the E3 name, and that does mean something. Jeff has already cornered the market for summer now with Summer Games Fest. Like, that's just like all summer long, and it's way cheaper to put on a show that's just like done virtually and not have like physical space. E3 is a physical event, so like what do you shift to? Like, Dan, you just said, like, do you shift to like something like PAX, right? That's too similar to another event. Like, people go to PAX, you already have PAX. You have to do something that's different and try to get people to come to your event. Like, what is unique about you? And E3 right now is just too stuck in the past.
Kirik says, I was saying that E3 should be smart and pivot to being a pure indie-centric event.
That's definitely the way forward.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of indies would love to have an opportunity to showcase their games in any way they can. But even to Christian's point, there are lots of people who are doing that now and are cornering that space. Like, there's the Wholesome Directs. There's 6-1 Indie did their freaking direct the other day, and it was awesome. Kind of Funny does it too. I mean, E3 again has that name, but I feel like there's the mind share that we keep talking about with live service games also seems to be happening with these directs and events that are going on now. There's so many now that E3 is starting to lose its reputation, I guess, with how long it's been since we've had one. It's going to be hard to just come back and say like, oh, here are all these awesome indies, but I don't know how they do that and stand out.
They screwed up their opportunity, because 2020, when COVID happened, they had a huge opportunity if they had pivoted to be a digital event and kind of center around the other people and kind of do what Jeff did. I feel like they screwed up by not embracing that and moving from that, but I don't know.
Yeah.
That's crazy. There was a lot of people who were getting their like badges approved pretty recently, and then just like weeks later, nope, sorry, everyone pulled out. There's no show. Sorry if you booked your hotel already, but there is no show to go to.
Yikes.
Are you guys ready for some movie Discord? Oh, no. Dan?
no.
Sorry, I was just going to say, it just sucks because there's been so many awesome, times from E3 in the past, like so many cool reveals.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, I think we're totally going to miss that aspect, of having that one big event in the year that we could all look forward to.
Yeah.
We say this because we're just like the people experiencing it, like as passive viewers, and it's easy for us to just like gorge on it in one weekend.
True.
But from what I'm hearing, from what I read online, like it's a nightmare to like be there and then like to have to work it, and people prefer this new format. Which, sure, if it makes it easier for them, then that's great. But like, it is kind of a huge like staple in the games industry that's just like probably gone forever now. Kind of crazy to think about.
Bummer.
I once got shit from my friends because I brought over my own Nesquik to the E3 party.
Nesquik is delicious.
I wanted chocolate milk. I'm sorry. Sue me.
Why would you get in shit for that?
Huh?
Why would you get in shit for that?
No, they gave me shit. Like, why are you bringing Nesquik to my house?
Oh, that's ridiculous. Nesquik is amazing.
That's what I'm saying. Whatever. Are you guys ready for some movie discourse?
Yes.
So ready.
Always.
Yeah, don't worry. It's at least a video game movie. The Super Mario Brothers movie from Illumination has had its reviews out. Currently, okay, this is outdated already. Here we go. Hold on. The Rotten Tomato score is currently sitting at a 54% from critics, which again means nothing. Let's just calibrate real quick what that means from Rotten Tomatoes. That means 54% of critics who have seen this movie and reviewed it have recommended it, have gotten good reviews, or yeah, around that. I think there's an actual number, it's like 77, whatever, 7 out of 10 or higher, something like that. But again, it means nothing. But also, if you need a comparison for other video game adaptations that have come out recently, the Sonic movie released to a 64% on Rotten Tomatoes. Sonic 2 was at 69%. Nice. And Detective Pikachu was at 68%. I don't know. I just assumed one of you guys would be like, oh man, I thought, Detective Pikachu would be higher. I hated that movie.
You hated Detective Pikachu?
Yeah, and Sonic. No, I hate Sonic 2. Detective Pikachu was like, whatever.
I haven't seen any of them. I don't have any skin in the game. I've not seen any of them, and I probably won't. I'm really happy people like Detective Pikachu, or pretend that they do, whichever.
Okay, thank you.
I liked it. I liked it a lot. I don't know, maybe not a lot, but I liked it. I was expecting Mario to be higher. Obviously, I haven't seen the movie yet, but out of like Sonic 2, Detective Pikachu, after seeing those movies, I would understand why critics would have it at that level. I was expecting Mario to be a little bit higher, and reading what the critics are saying, I guess I don't understand where they're coming from because I haven't seen the movie yet. But
sure,
the criticisms are like it's a checklist of fans' expectations. Oh, sorry, you have the list there. Sorry.
I have stuff on this.
I'm jumping ahead here. Sorry. But yeah, I was expecting Mario to be higher. Yeah.
I was too, based on the clips that we've seen through various like events, like Nintendo Directs. I think Jeff had like a clip, and in those, like, it looked pretty awesome. I was expecting it to be somewhere around like the low 70s. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Daniel's gonna say something.
Personally, I didn't expect it to be 53%, but I didn't expect it to be phenomenal because you have to look at who's reviewing the movie. Like, I don't think it's catered to the people that are reviewing it, which we will talk about it here in a little bit.
Yeah, I take issue with that. We'll see. Let's get into it. Critics are mostly mixed on the Mario movie. More positive reviews than negative, though. Let's remember this. There's a lot of praise for its level of craft and absolutely gorgeous animation. Let's not kid ourselves. This movie, it looks stunning. It's a beautiful looking movie. There's apparently ray tracing.
Yeah,
that's insane.
Which is like awesome. People are saying like if you can see this in an IMAX theater, you should do it because it just looks absolutely gorgeous on the biggest screen possible, which is refreshing and nice. Like we all like pretty pictures. However, let's get into the negative reviews from critics. Critics are saying that it centers on that negative reviews center on the movie's plot or lack thereof, and pretty shallow character development. More general views from gamers, however, have been largely impressed, praising the number of references, Easter eggs, what have yous, pointing to the screens and being like, I recognize this. Ro, anything I missed? What was anything you wanted to say that you were saying earlier?
That was exactly what I was going to say about the checklist of expectations, what I was reading here, for fans, like, oh, wow, I see that mushroom. I recognize that mushroom. I ate that mushroom as Mario once, sort of stuff. Which, again, as a fan, I'm gonna love that, and that's gonna make me go like, "Oh wow, shiny thing that I really like," and I'm gonna probably get a lot of enjoyment out of watching it. But as I said in the Twitter DMs, like from the critic standpoint and people who aren't Mario fans, that's not gonna do anything for you. And a movie should strive for more than just making nerds freak out about like the little Easter eggs and stuff like that. I don't think that's a bad thing to strive for, but if you want it to be a good movie, it needs to do more than that. So I understand where some critics are coming from in that regard. But again, it is a Mario movie. There are going to be Mario things, but
Yes.
yeah.
Dan, are you any more or less excited based on these reviews? Do you just not care?
I wouldn't say I'm any more or less excited. I was already pretty excited for it, and all the things that I've heard from the reviewers have me excited. So I'd say pretty much the same. I think, as we've talked about, there's a lot of discussion surrounding the plot development and character development and all of that. I think the bigger issue with that would be your future possible franchise of this series. So like, they already are talking about more movies in this universe, which I think that would be where the problem comes into play, because you're not getting this, firsthand effect where you're like, man, this is really cool seeing all this stuff for the first time, because you're not going to get that a second time. So I think they're going to lose some of that if they continue to not develop the plot and characters. But I think for this particular movie, in my opinion, I don't see that as a negative necessarily, that the plot development isn't there, because they put so much, or at least from what the reviewers are saying. Of course, I haven't seen it yet, but from what people are saying, they packed so many Easter eggs and cool nods, and like the visual effects, everything else surrounding this movie is so like perfect tied to the Mario universe that it seems like a really good, introduction to that. But yes, like the problem is building out from there. I think they're going to run into issues if they don't build something that's meaningful. And of course, like I was alluding to earlier, I don't think this particular movie is aimed at critics, because critics don't give a shit about, Mario 2's music, or, this cool mushroom that shows up from Mario 3 or whatever. Like, they're not going to care about those things. So, of course, I wouldn't be surprised that a critic would say, this movie's terrible. There's nothing like redeeming about this. Like, I totally understand that perspective. But for me, I'm still very excited for it. And like you said, a lot of people who've played the games seemingly are very excited. So
yeah,
You're
my big thing is when they say there's not a lot of character development, I'm like, okay, well, can any of us tell us like what's the character development that's been set by Mario?
Right.
What's the character development in any of the games?
No,
I want to push back on that.
You can't do that. You can't be doing that though, because like this is a film. This is an adaptation. If you're gonna be making a movie, you're telling a story.
So you're hitting us from like the on paper definition. Like, this is a film. Like, yes, you're technically right, but like we've seen the trailers. This is it a film, or is it like it's a celebration of Mario?
Exactly.
I think
that's
kind of how I'm looking at it. I understand, like, you're technically right. Yes, this is technically a film, and therefore should be able to stand on its own two feet.
It's a movie,
but it's Mario. It's also Super Mario.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the
well. And
like, how much character development do you want?
And it's no different than video games. Like, not every video game has an extremely compelling story. Like, there's different ways to like propel your medium forward. It doesn't necessarily have to be storytelling.
I just saw John Wick 4 with Roshan. I had a great time. I can tell you, not a whole lot of story to that one and the other three. If we're really being honest with ourselves.
There's a difference between not a lot of plot and meaningful story. That movie has meaningful story, even though the plot itself is like pretty bare bones, quote unquote.
I want to see Mario struggling to pay his bills, and I want to see Mario balancing two jobs.
Okay,
trying to support his kids.
Here's my counter argument here. Like Paddington, a kid's book about a bear. We got Paddington 1 and 2 out of this, and those movies are like some of the greatest movies ever made. Paddington 2
True.
specifically. It's like,
I have heard that. That is true.
The Iron Giant.
Yes.
Get the fuck out of here. Like we can make things. We don't have to like just accept nothingness, right? But it is, however, Illumination. Let's keep in mind that this is the studios that brought us Despicable Me movies and Minions. Like,
well, that's the thing.
I know I'm getting like gags made for like everyone.
Right. And that's the thing. It's like, is it completely nothingness, or is there enough there to like? And that's where I come down to. Like, there'll probably be enough there.
Yeah.
For like, I don't know. I'm fine with this. This seems like this. Yeah, I don't know.
For the first,
it's also Mario. I don't want to put too much brain power towards it because I don't give a shit. It's also Mario.
like I was saying before, I think for the first movie this works, but after the first movie, this isn't going to work anymore. They have to do something else. Like,
right?
Yeah, they're already talking about Donkey Kong spinoffs and freaking, whatever else.
God.
Like,
I think you're right, Dan. They can't. Yeah, they're gonna have to create something of substance if they want to make a cinematic universe, so to speak.
Yeah,
the MCU.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Do they have to? Do they have to though?
They don't have to.
There's already talks.
No, I mean, do they have to make something with character developer? They can't. Can they just keep doing this? Like a Smash Brothers movie can just be a Smash Brothers movie.
That's true. Yeah.
With a bunch of Smash Brothers references. A Donkey Kong movie could just be a Donkey Kong movie with a bunch of Donkey Kong references.
Well, and that'll come down to the same thing as the Mario movies, right? If they're fine with the 50% on Rotten Tomatoes, but they keep making money, then maybe that is what we'll get. We'll just get, we won't get a whole lot of story. It'll just be, are you ready for the new hour-and-a-half long commercial for Donkey Kong that looks gorgeous?
Yeah.
In which case, the people that want that, there you go. But I don't know. I don't feel like anything is lost to me as a film fanatic by Mario not having a gripping story. There's nothing lost to me.
With you, I'm just trying to argue that there's like a middle ground. Like, don't we deserve like a little bit more? You know what I mean? Like, from what I heard from people is like the movie is like a Minions movie where it's like a like nonstop jokes all the time with like nothing much to really like sink your teeth into. And like, sure, that's fine, but it's not something that I'm kind of interested in.
Yeah, in a perfect world, you'd have a movie like this that's fun, but also does have some sort of theme or some sort of
like a Pixar movie.
Something to say. Right, exactly. Yeah, I get what you mean. The Minions comparison actually makes more sense now that I think about it, because they don't really have huge gripping, like not even huge stories, but they don't really have a point to them really, aside from there's a small emotional connection at the center.
Yeah,
that's true. Actually, that's a really good point now that I think about it. Yeah.
Let's be real though. Negative reviews aside, this movie's gonna make bank. I think everyone's gonna be jumping to see it this weekend. Yeah, Easter weekend gonna be huge for the Mario movie. And you know what? There's enough care. It seems like there's enough care from the voice actors. I've heard like Jack Black is phenomenal as Bowser. Enough care from the studios to like really translate the love of Mario games from game to movies, that like even if like you're not impressed by the level of storytelling you're getting in it, you're still probably going to have some degree of fun, and it's going to look pretty, and it's going to be nice. So yeah, it's going to make a lot of money for showsies.
I was listening to Kind of Funny too. They were talking highly of Chris Pratt as well as Mario, which I know there's a lot of skeptics, but
and I'm one of them. I was skeptical.
Yeah. Two quick things as well. There is 2 post-credit scenes because we are living in a post-Marvel world. So, yep, there's a mid-credit scene and a post-credit scene, like when everything is done. So, if you're gonna watch it, stick around. And then I wrote this just as like a filmmaking section. Kind of bummed out again at the failure of credits that we've been seeing from Nintendo's like kind of properties recently. We had it with Metroid Prime Remastered. Getting it again with the movie. All the individual pop songs that were used in the Mario Brothers movie got full credits with the names of the writers and performers. Songs used from the soundtracks of the games did not get full credits. They just kind of say what game it's from. It's like, oh, that kind of sucks. People made those.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yep. Anyway, Mario movie. Go see it, and then let us know what you think next week on PXN. Maybe I'll like join in. I won't be here, but I'll call in and be like, hey, here's what I thought. Here's my 2.5 letterbox review.
Throw it into your speak pipe.
You got one of those, Dan?
No, I don't.
Okay, well.
You can leave me a voicemail. Leave me a voicemail.
I'll send you a WAV file.
There you go.
Why is Gage giggling?
Huh? Am I not allowed to just enjoy myself and have fun with the
No.
boys? Am I not allowed just to vibe? I'm so sorry.
Is
Daniel-
Keanu Reeves in it? Kira Craft asks in the chat for Mario movie. I don't think so. And if he was in it, I wonder what character he would be. Dry Bones, maybe?
Dr.
No, Dry
Mario.
Bones isn't already in it. Dr. Mario.
I want Frank Grillo to be in the next Mario movie.
Who?
Yeah.
I was hoping that'd stir some sort of reaction from Christian. but it didn't.
No, sorry, I'm looking ahead to the next segment here, but I don't think we have anything noteworthy to say. Fantasy Draft Critic update for everybody. 2023 PXN's Fantasy League duel battle.
To the death.
Stay tuned for next week because we got some actual games coming out next week that I'm presuming will have some scores. Gage gonna be on the scoreboard soon. Wait, he
Hell
already
yeah.
is.
I am already on the scoreboard, but I don't
Yeah.
blame you for thinking that I'm not because of how things have gone for me in the past.
Well, yeah, and you can't buy any, or you can buy one more game, I think, with your.
Hey
money.
man, one game is all it takes.
Make it count.
I'm listening to Nintendo Wii music with rain, and it rocks.
What's my next game that's coming out? That's gonna put me on the board.
All right, I'll say it then. Minecraft Legends coming out April 18th.
I picked that.
Yeah, yes,
Did
you
I?
did.
Okay, that was a good pick.
It's a pretty good pick. I agree. Yeah.
I think it'll be good. It looks
Okay.
fun.
Gage, you picked it up for $20, no less. And
Yeah,
I don't think anyone else.
You don't need to remind everyone. I'm not good with money. First of all, second of all, I thought you guys would be in it to win it, and I played myself. All right, is that what you wanted to say? I played myself.
Yes, we're in it to win it, so we were gonna buy Minecraft Legends.
What if somebody bid $19 on it? I needed to bid 20.
I'm gonna keep it real. I might get last. I haven't drafted a single game from our original draft.
You got time.
I haven't picked up anything. I got time. You're right. But until then, Daniel, what you got for me?
What do I have for you? I have more Resident Evil 4 remake, and I am on.
Sex.
Yeah. Chapter
Yeah.
chapter 11, and so I'm about double where I was last time I spoke about it, and very, very, very happy with this remake thus far. I don't want to say anything crazy yet until I finish it, but it's gonna be way up there on my games, of enjoyment. This game rocks. I absolutely love it. I love the original Resident Evil 4. The original Resident Evil 4 is probably top 15 games of all time. So this game is it's creeping up there. I love it. It's so good. So good. And a lot of the changes they've made, I think, are really cool. So makes it different experience. Really cool.
I'm gonna jump. Can I piggyback
Sure.
off of you, Daniel?
Sure.
I've also been playing Resident Evil 4, of course. I'm a little bit behind you. I think I'm on chapter 9. There's a certain chapter that, if you remember from the original RE4, they kind of expanded it a little bit in RE4 remake, and it's
Yes. I
fucking
know what you're
great, dude.
talking about.
yeah, like it was way scarier and like
Terrifying.
it was really, really good. The use of the lack of use of sound in this chapter was awesome. Where like I'm using my headphones and like all I hear is just like white noise of nothing in my footsteps, and I'm like, oh, I am a little bit scared right now.
A little spooky in here.
Yeah.
There was moments in that I was about to shit myself. I'm just like, no, I can't take it.
I felt my heart rate go up towards the end, and I was like, this is how I knew, like, they really nailed this part of the remake. It's awesome. It's like this section alone is like justified enough for the remake for me. But I think I'm gonna walk back a little bit of comments that I made last week, because I was early on and I was really in gripes with the crafting system in this game. I think kind of early on when you have the smaller case, having to juggle like resources that don't stack and gunpowder and trying to craft stuff just like wasn't really working with me because it was too limiting. But now I'm like in like the midpoint of the game, when you have a bigger case and you're like running into a lot more enemies, the crafting actually like really comes into its own. I'm like, okay, I'm at a perfect flow with my rate of pickups and my rate of crafting, that it actually feels really good. So despite some trouble early on, I'm actually really enjoying it now. So I wanted to walk back those comments and say maybe I spoke too early on my criticisms there. And then as far as like linear level design, I've come to accept that you know what, this is totally fine. I can just have fun and not have like if I want to play my Metroidvania Resident Evils, I can go play RE2 Remake and have a great time. I can just enjoy RE4 Remake for what it is, which is like my survival horror action linear level game where I sit down, play a chapter for an hour and a half, and then play another chapter the next night. Games can be that way, and I can have fun with them. So I'm really enjoying my time with RE4 Remake.
Sorry, Christian, I don't mean to hijack your segment, but you reminded me. One of my favorite parts of Resident Evil 4, which no other game does this to me. Literally no other game does this to me. I want to find every single item and treasure and thing that I possibly can in RE4. And obviously the treasure maps help a little bit with that because it kind of helps guide you to where they're at. But also like every single piece that you pick up like contributes to your like progress in your progression of your character or the progression of your weapons or that kind of stuff, because you get a crown gem or a crown I don't know what you call it. I guess just a crown with gem slots in it. And then you find gems to place into the crown that increases the value significantly to then sell. Like, I love it. It has me going back and searching every little nook and cranny I can for everything. It's so good.
So you're doing all the side content, the little side mission contracts and stuff? Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Kill all the rats in the mansion or whatever. You know what I mean?
Shoot the blue medallions. Yeah.
Classic. By the way, I want to say, like the lighting is great. We know this, but like, what I call this, like the weather effects in this game are stunning. There's a moment when you're entering the castle, which of course, if you know RE4, you know the castle. I'll stop there. That's no spoilers. But like, there's like fog on the floor that like creeps out, like in the main kind of built like area that just like looks so gorgeous as you're walking through and seeing Leon just kind of disperse the fog in front of him. It's great, dude. What a beautiful game. I'm gorgeous. Gage.
I've also been playing Resident Evil 4.
Whoa!
I'm on, Lynn and I are playing that together, and I'm only on chapter 3 or 4 because I have to wait for her to watch me play it, because for some reason of all the video games that she's watched me play on the couch, she's really taken with Resident Evil games. So, it is, I echo everything you guys say. It's absolutely phenomenal. It's crazy to think that I played the original on a GameCube way back in the day, and now I'm playing it and I'm like, holy crap. Like, I can remember this, but at the same time, it's like same as honestly, it's the same as Resident Evil 2. Everything they improved is stuff that I think they should have improved, and everything they left alone is stuff that like I feel I also would have left alone. So to me, it's like this is a perfect remake. This is a perfect remake, same as Resident Evil 2. This is a fantastic game. And I think that's what it comes down to, of why everybody loves this Resident Evil 4 remake, and why it'll probably be now take the new crown as the best remake, because the quality of remake is the same between Resident Evil 2 remake and Resident Evil 4 remake. It's just that Resident Evil 4 is a better base game. So therefore, the Resident Evil 4 remake is just hitting with people because, again, in my opinion, same quality of remake, same amount of love and care. It's just you had a better base product to work with. So I'm absolutely enjoying it. All the side stuff, like you were saying, Dan, it's the perfect amount of video game that I need, right? Like we were just talking about with the whole 30-hour thing. It's like it's got some nice open sections where you can kind of take your time if you want, but then it's mostly a linear game. Like, this is just exactly what I want right now. So Resident Evil 4 is what I've been playing, having a good time with it. And that's actually pretty much it. I haven't been playing much of anything else.
A friendly reminder that we should not harass voice actors if you don't like their line deliveries in a game.
Friendly reminder: you probably shouldn't harass anyone if you don't like.
Yeah.
But especially the person who voiced Ada Wong.
Yes,
thank you. Yeah.
Which am I crazy, or is I think she did a good job? Am I just nuts in thinking that?
Wait, I'm sorry.
You
don't. I'm sorry. I have to. You don't want to be on the Wong side of history.
Nice. That's good. Dan, I don't personally care for her deliveries, but like,
Gotcha.
I'm not gonna be a freak weirdo about it and harass her. Like, what do like?
Right.
All right, Capcom, whatever the director of the game, like, is in charge of getting performances that they want, and they thought this was good.
You're allowed to not like actors. You just don't have to be weird about it. I think that's a pretty fair statement.
A lot of their delivery, anyways, is like really campy and goofy because it's Resident
I was
Evil.
gonna say it's also Resident Evil. Yeah, Leon doesn't necessarily do a great job himself. What?
It is weird to keep the Leon voice actor from RE2 remake, but replace Ada.
That's
in my
true.
opinion, that's a little weird, but like, whatever, you know, like just don't harass people.
Right.
Yeah.
Ro.
I have not been playing Resident Evil 4, unfortunately. I cannot keep this train rolling. I apologize. Can you guys guess what I've been playing?
Fortnite.
Sonic murder.
Fortnite?
Dan, Fortnite. I don't have time for games right now. Sonic has been murdered. Oh my god. Yes, Christian is right. I've been playing the murder of Sonic the Hedgehog on Steam. It's free. And yeah, not much I could really say about it besides that it's a really adorable visual novel. The writing is really cute. The mystery is surprisingly really good. The premise is like you're on a train. It's Amy's birthday, and all the gang is there to celebrate her birthday party. And then they're doing like a murder mystery party. And Sonic may or may not actually be dead. And we're trying to figure out if he's playing his part or if he's actually been murdered. But which is really fun. So the writing is really fun. All the characters are in these cute outfits. And yeah, having a good time. I think I'm nearing the end, but part of me thinks that there's going to be a twist based off of something that I saw on Twitter. So I may not be close to the end yet, but yeah, I'm having a good time just vibing out with the characters. Nothing really much to it. Just it's a point and click adventure sort of thing. So you click on something, interact with it, add it to your inventory, and then you interrogate the different Sonic characters to find out if they murdered Sonic the Hedgehog. Yeah, pretty cool.
So are you playing as like an amorphous like third party character? You know what I mean? Like you're just you know you role playing you, the detective.
There is a canon name for the character, but you can name him Rashan or Christian or something. His name is Barry, and he works on the train. He is he's the new guy on the job basically, and he's just his official title is microwave duty, and he just helps people with their food and stuff like that. But he's the waiter basically, the butler. But yeah, you play as him, and you help Tails, who is the detective role in this game. Yeah,
very cool. Before we move on, speaking of Sonic, I just want to say, if you're a big fan of Sonic Riders, there is a fan out there doing an HD remake for it on PC, and it looks fantastic. I think I forgot to show Rode this video. It was on TikTok where I found it. It looks stunning.
That's awesome.
Stunning.
Another thing, I don't know if we talked about it last week or this week, but Dolphin emulator is coming to Steam.
Yes,
soon.
It already was.
It already is.
But like officially, yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
Do you have a Steam Deck?
No.
Okay.
No, not yet. Isn't it on? I could play it on. I could play it now. Like I have a PC.
Yeah, PC. Yeah. We should. Anyway, topic of the show. Let's dive into Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Not us. We didn't play it, but a lot of people in the industry did, and they have in-depth previews of the game, loaded with details. I went in and read a few articles, and then I pasted one video in for us. It was kind of the more thorough one. It had a lot of gameplay. If you guys want to throw that on from Game Informer, you can mute it and just kind of watch it as we talk about it. It's shaping up consensus from critics to be a fantastic sequel to the what I would say is pretty beloved Jedi Fallen Order. People are saying they're really impressed with the direction that Respawn has taken a lot of the gameplay and some of the story elements. Let's jump into some of these details. You guys can stop me whenever. I kind of broke it up into like story, setting, and gameplay, with the bulk of it being gameplay. Story, not much here for us to discuss, really, but in case you maybe forgot, this does take place 5 years after the events of Fallen Order, so Cal Kestis is more of a professional. He's more comfortable with himself as this Jedi figure, and he's post, what is it, Order 66, Order whatever, where all the Jedi, post that he's trying to collective,
He's got a fully developed Jedi body.
Yes.
His lightsaber's uncut. He's trying to get the Jedi Order back together. And this is important too. Apparently, the game has ties into the High Republic, which is kind of pre-Order 66, back when the Jedi were like huge, and that was. I don't know much about the High Republic, but it is kind of exciting to get some stuff that isn't overly saturated from current Star Wars canon. Getting a lot of shows that are taking place in between sequels and original. Prequels and original, right?
Prequels.
Where does this take place? Yeah, prequels and original trilogy.
Yeah, it's between
it's between those. Yeah. So getting stuff before that, I think, is going to be kind of exciting. I'm done there. Setting. This is important. This is where the people previewed the game. This is the planet Kobo, where the game kind of officially kind of starts. So your first kind of big level is planet Kobo, and this acts as a hub world. There's a giant outpost here called Rambler's Reach. And so throughout the game, you're going to be recruiting people into your squad, and you can have them join your cause. They'll go back to this outpost here on Kobo, where you can then go over there. You can return to it often and talk to all these people that we'll get to here in the gameplay. Alrighty. This is where I want you guys to kind of stop me as we move forward. And I want to actually start with Dan. Fallen Order was what I would say kind of somewhere between action game and Souls light, inspired by some of these kind of Souls games. There's that difficulty there. There's the pairing. There's kind of slower pace combat. Again, this all returns in Jedi Survivor. However, we do still have traditional Metroidvania kind of level design and paths in the game. However, with some, now that we're on next gen, some kind of larger open environment areas. And there goes Gage's cat again, just knocking down his food. Dan, excited for things to kind of stay the same, but maybe a bit a bit better.
Yeah,
in terms of level design.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the first game was absolutely gorgeous, like the levels and such. And I think the one of the interesting things that Game Informer pointed out in their video was he was concerned at one point because they showed a piece of the demo where they did like one of those slidey things like from the first game where they slide down a path, and he's like, man, I was worried because they're just going to have this one path that you go in again. But then he's like, but then I looked at the map and saw, no, there's like some cool areas you can go in this way, like this way. So like, it seems like they're building around that more than they did in the first game.
Yeah, to jump on that, Dan. In Fallen Order, the level design was like pretty like one directional.
Yeah.
That those slides were in a lot of places in Fallen Order, and you would go down this slide. And then if you wanted to go back behind you to where you just came from, you would have to like go throughout the entire path and then circle around back to where you just were. And Respawn kind of understood that like that can get kind of frustrating when you're going back to areas you've already been and trying to, do side content. And they're like, well, let's just, quality of life improvement. If you go down the slide, let's just insert a way for you to platform back up the way you just came. So you can run around against the walls and double jump and platform back up to where you just came from. You don't have to go all the way through and around.
Dude, the freaking thing that he grabs onto and like floats down Breath of the Wild style with the little bird or whatever, that was so cool too. I thought that was awesome. Kind of taking some inspiration there maybe from Breath of the Wild. And I guess you can ride animals in general. There was like a chocobo looking animal as well.
I think he was saying that you could like tame different animals, so you could have like little pets and stuff, which is cool. See what all the different ones might be able to do.
Yeah, so on level design, since you guys brought it up, you can tame animals that will allow you to access new areas. There's the flying creature that we saw where they kind of like floated down, but then actually then flew back up a little bit and then came down where Cal jumped off. And yeah, there's the chocobo looking creature that you can ride and then jump off of, and that'll allow you to reach new areas where again you'll have side content, puzzles, etc. And then we already talked about the traversal. But I also want to point out that people were like really praising the map in this game, saying that the UI for the map is like way better, and like if you're trying to do all the side stuff, it's pretty easy to follow. Unlike Fallen Order, where they like kind of you have to orient yourself and a little bit frustrating. Respawn just really seemed to hammer on like making a better experience for kind of almost the same game but better. Some big changes here for action. Your actual saber, your fighting. There are 5 stances you'll be able to use in Jedi Survivor. There's single blade, pretty obvious. One lightsaber with one blade, single blade. The double blade, which is on both ends, kind of Darth Maul. Dual wield, where you separate them and you have one in each hand. You also have 2 others called cross guard, and then you have blaster. The double blade is going to be better for clearing out a higher number of enemies. So if you need to like scatter a bunch, do a bunch of damage, double bladed. Dual wield does less damage, but each attack hits more rapidly and is weaker against blasters. So you kind of have to keep an eye out. People who are blasting you a lot probably don't want to have dual wield. Cross guard was not in the preview, but it's described as a stance similar to Kylo Ren from the sequels with small blades on the hilt. And then blaster's blaster. Yeah, the gun. Each stance has their own skill tree, and then later sections of the game will engage with a rock, paper, scissors battle, where one stance is better against enemies, kind of like God of War, where you have to use a certain type against a certain enemy type. So you can look forward to that. And then parry timing, this is for Dan, is tied to difficulty. So if you have trouble parrying, I guess, we knock down the difficulty.
Like the second to last boss in Jedi Fallen Order, my God. That hurt me. That hurt my wall, too, that I threw my controller at.
Are you expecting that kind of frustration to hit with you in Survivor? You think it'll be just as difficult? Because I think it'll be just as, difficult.
So with that particular encounter, it wasn't the difficulty that was getting me. It was the inconsistency in the fight, because there were many times where I felt I was parrying and it wasn't actually parrying. So I don't know if that was a mechanical issue or if it was just something I was just, yeah.
So GameSpot's preview actually talks about this, because he's kind of similar to you, where he felt like the parry timing doesn't feel right in this game, kind of similar to Fallen Order, and it's tied to the animation of Cal's attacks. You can't parry like during an attack. You have to wait for the animation to like completely finish. And he was saying that in Survivor that it's kind of because of like the flare that Cal does, it's kind of hard to identify when an animation kind of ends, because they kind of seamlessly, like if you hit attack button twice, it'll kind of seamlessly go into the other one. So it's hard to really identify when the animation is stopped. So he was having a lot of trouble figuring out the pairing, and he was getting hit a lot. So something to keep in mind.
Yeah. Not being able to cancel an animation in a fast-paced combat game kind of sucks sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you know what? Now that you say that does make a lot of sense. That seemingly is when I was having my issues, when I was starting an attack and then they would attack me and I couldn't parry because I was in my animation.
Mm-hmm.
So that actually does make a lot of sense now.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of that, sorry.
Yeah. Tell me.
No, I was just saying outside of that, the combat does look really fun. Especially to me, the dual wielding one seemed the most fun to try out, when you're throwing the lightsaber and calling it back. Looks like a fun mode to try, or a fun stance to try.
Gage is doing,
I think for me, what is he doing?
Gage is gonna do the blaster.
I'm gonna fucking blast. Yeah. Try and stop me from blasting.
Blaster.
Yeah,
hardly know her.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. Oh God, you're so cute. I think for me, like, that's not going to get really engaging until towards like the later half of the game. I think as they kind of ease you into the back into the world of Survivor, like choosing between these stances might not be that inconsequential. You know what I mean?
Right.
It won't matter that much, but like
until you get into those rock paper scissors stuff.
Yeah,
for sure.
And I think that's when like the gameplay loop is going to like really hit its stride. Also, this game is gorgeous too, by the way.
Yes. Very gorgeous.
Stunning environments.
And the customization on the lightsabers too, that was really cool, seeing all the little pieces you could put together. I know, Gage, you're going to be having an orgasm about customization.
You better believe I've already looked up that video, and you better believe I've already done a sort of bodily reaction to that. So, but here's the thing. I don't know if I'm hyped about this game, to be honest, gentlemen, because I'm
with you.
I saw all the hype that the first game get, and like obviously my best friend Glenn is a huge Star Wars fan, and he was talking about it like nonstop, and so I jumped into it, I'm somebody people from this podcast will know I absolutely adore Respawn. They can do no wrong. I jumped into this and I was like, this game feels kind of janky, and I don't quite understand the universal acclaim this game gets. So I played maybe 45 minutes of Jedi Fallen Order, and it did not click with me at all. So I'm maybe it's because it's Souls-light, and I wasn't thinking that when I played it. And there's a level of jank and kind of like Christian said, slower paced combat that's kind of to be expected, but. The first game did not feel all that fun to play, especially the climbing animations and the sliding and the transitions. It felt janky. I'm sorry, I'm gonna say it. So I don't know if this game, if I've seen enough of a difference to make me want to try this.
You know what, Gage? If Dan can handle a Souls-like game, you can. Damn it! Just kidding.
I just want my games to feel responsive.
Yeah, even better. This is where From Software is really good at it. You know what I mean? Sekiro, baby. Let's all play it. Gage, I'm with you though. I think something about this game feels a bit too video gamey, and that sounds like a really weird thing to say. How do I qualify that? I don't know, but it's a feeling when I'm getting. Okay, well, I'll just let me get some stuff in there, and then I'll elaborate. So side content, you have optional bosses, of course, just like the first one. Tons of hidden areas, puzzle sections. But you have these things called fractured resolves, which are time trial platforming sections that you meditate and suddenly you're in this space place at the platform. Looks pretty cool. Of course, really side quests. Too. It looked too hard. Yeah. It looked too hard in my opinion. Side quests. People you recruit will go back to the cantina at the hub in the Reach, whatever, the Kobo, that planet, the outpost. And there's where you can go talk to them. They'll give you side quests. You can unlock various items. Most of it will be cosmetic. And then you can, when you're out exploring, just like the first game, you find seeds. You can bring those seeds back and plant them. But it's much more in depth this time around. You can build a garden at your post. You have to worry about where you're planting, because it might take up 3 hexagon spaces, and you only have so many hexagon spaces. And after seeing all this, I was like, okay, we're kind of. I don't need this game to be like a game that kind of takes over 50 hours of my life. You know what I mean? Right. I might just kind of golden path it. You can do that and touch on a few side areas. I don't need it to be that extreme. But yeah, something about it just feels a bit maybe too similar. And maybe if you guys buy it day one and you speak highly of it, I'll probably check it out as well. But for now, I'm kind of checking my expectations, because Gage is right. The first one was a little bit janky. Some of it didn't feel as responsive, and I kind of want to see if Respawn kind of put the polish to the sequel.
Agreed. Yeah. I think I had the conversations with Sean at the time during the podcast when this game came out, and he was always a lot higher on it than I was because of my frustrations with the parry stuff. So maybe that will return based on what you were saying about some of the previews. But I hope this game, amps it up a little bit on every aspect. This video definitely got me amped up a little bit for me personally. So I'm excited to see more, and I'll definitely play it. So we'll see. Oh,
also it's important to note too that the preview people they're under embargo, so they can't talk about everything. So they got to see some of the story elements of the game. Obviously, they're playing they play 3 hours of it. And they were kind of into, a little bit mixed. Some people weren't as into it as they were. They said they felt Fallen Order was a bit tighter in terms of narrative, but it is very early on. And some people said that it was, they can only gesture at what it is, but they said that it was kind of interesting. And they're looking forward to seeing how that develops. So story seems to be something that you may or may not get into, depending on how into Star Wars you are. Yeah. All right. Is anyone buying this game day one?
Yes.
I don't think I am.
I am, definitely.
I am not.
Yeah, me neither.
I'll be your resident expert, I guess. Then
there we go.
Dan's the only
I
one.
don't know if I'm ever gonna buy it.
Oh
wow!
Really?
Did you
play I just don't think I'm a Star Wars person anymore.
Got it.
But I did play the first one, and I did like it. I think it's time for me to admit I'm just not a Star Wars person anymore. And they're just not doing it anymore. But I can look at this game and say that it looks fun. I just don't think I would get that much enjoyment out of playing it, just because of how I feel about Star Wars right now. But yeah, I think it looks fun, and I like the lightsaber stuff and all that kind of stuff, and how expansive the world is. Like, if this was any other game, maybe I would try it, but I'm just not feeling it as a Star Wars person right now.
I think I've determined how I feel. It feels like busy work until the next thing comes out. Does that make sense? Do you know
Like
what
how
I mean?
you feel with this game, right?
Like if I bought it, I'd be playing it just to kill time until the next big
The next
release.
one.
You know,
That's exactly it.
that
yeah.
I care about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
Huh.
I didn't think I would lead us into a depressing route on Star Wars Jedi Survivor.
I mean,
thought
Dan's
it'd be all
excited.
like,
Dan's gonna
oh,
get
I'm
it.
excited,
Yeah.
It's gonna get
Oh, yeah.
tens everywhere. Tens.
Oh my.
For my fantasy
my.
critic. Tens.
we do have open critic predictions that I wrote down, so we'll
That's
see.
true.
We'll see how that fares. Okay. I also forgot to mention the customization. Super highly customizable. Cal, his hair, his beard, his shirt, jackets, pants. You can have a mullet. Your saber, your hilt, the kyber crystals, the emitter, etc. And
Which looks
BD1.
awesome.
BD1.
It does look awesome.
The BD1 stuff look really cool. The animations of the pieces popping into them.
Yeah.
All the individual parts of BD1 are customizable.
Like to Rashan's point, it's like if this type of stuff gets announced for say like the next Elder Scrolls, like this that would be kind of like, oh, you can forge your sword and you can choose the hilt and this like that like Rashan said, all these ingredients sound fucking awesome, and I'm super hyped for people that are into Star Wars, but I'm in the same boat where it's like it's just I don't care about Star Wars right now, but everything
That's
in this
true.
game, like the customization looks fucking insane.
We'll see. I'm expecting 7s out of this game. Just kidding. I
I
don't
think
know.
that's
I don't know. Probably some 8s, Dan. All right, some 8s.
That seems low.
No 9s, though. No 9s.
Wow.
All right. Anything else to say about Jedi Survivor?
Tens.
I'm a survivor.
I love that Gage is like speaking too high pitched that it's just cutting him off. He's peeking the mic, just singing.
I did the
It's
song
great.
from Charlie's Angels, the
Nice.
OG one.
All right. In that case, thank you again, everyone, joining us live on YouTube and Twitch, as well as podcast services everywhere, including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere else you get your pods. Thank you, Roshan. Thank you, me. Thank you, Gage. That's Daniel. And this has been Podcast PXN, and we are the effing out of here.
Much love. Keep on gaming.
See ya.
Yes, sir.
Let's get it done.